So hello everyone, I am Kathleen M. Sara from Section Delta. So today I'm going to discuss the Republic Act number 10575. So this act, it is an act strengthening the Bureau of Correction and providing funds therefore. So by the way, this is just a continuation because um, in this act, there are 28 section, and then Saruno, Jasmine, and I was assigned in this report. So we divided them into two. So in section 1 to 14, Saruno, Jasmine will report, and then um, section 14, no 15 to 28. So it was assigned for me. So let's proceed. Section 15, Professionalization and Qualifications Upgrading Program. So, the DOJ or Department of Justice shall design and establish a professionalization and qualifications upgrading program for personnel of the Bureau in coordination with the CSC and the Commission on Higher Education through an off-campus education program or other similar programs within 90 days from the effectivity of this act. So, the purpose of this section is section mandates the developments of a program to professionalize and upgrade the qualifications of the Bucor personnel. So the DOJ is tasked with designing and establishing this program. So um, in section 15, the act says that within 90 days of the law taking effect, the Department of Justice must set up a program para makatabang sa mga employees of the Bureau of Corrections to improve their skills and qualifications. So the DOJ will work with the Civil Service Commission and the Commission of the Higher Education so that they create this program, um, which might include online courses or other types of training that wala gad requiring nga mo attend or a traditional school. So in section 16, attrition system for the personnel of the Bucor. So there shall be established a system of attrition for the personnel of the Bucor within 5 years from the effectivity of this act. So to be submitted by the said Bureau to the DOJ for approval. Such attrition system shall include, but is not limited to, the provision of the following principles. Letter A, attrition by demotion in position or rank. Letter B, attrition by non-promotion. Letter C, attrition by other means. And letter D, retirement from the separation bureau under this section. So, in this section, it establishes a system for removing or retiring Bureau of Correction personnel under specific condition within 5 years of the law taking effect. The Bureau must submit this system to the Department of Justice or the DOJ for approval. So here are the main points. In letter A, demotion in position or rank. So if any employee is demoted to a lower position and isn't reassigned to an appropriate position within 2 years, so they will be removed or retired in a service. So not letter B. So if an employee hasn't been promoted for 10 years, they will be removed or retired except for those in higher level position. So letter C. So um, so these are the other reason for there are other reason for attrition. They have poor performance over 2 consecutive rating periods. There are also poor performance over three cumulative rating periods. They have physical or mental inability to perform duties, and also failure to complete required career courses or civil service eligibility without a valid reason. Letter D, separation or retirement. Employees who are removed based on these rules will either be separated if they have less than 20 years of service or retired. So if they have 20 or more years of service, unless they are um, legally disqualified from receiving benefits. Section 17. Promotion system for the personnel of the Bucor within 6 months after the effectivity of this act. The Bucor shall establish a system of promotion from the personnel of the Bucor through the following principles. So there are two principles. Letter A, the rationalized promotion system. Letter B, the requirements for promotion. So, ang rationalized promotion system, ang promotion system kay nakabase sa merit o availability ng bakanting ranggo sa Bucor. So, dapat din patas sa kasarian para tiyakin na ang mga babae ay may pantay na oportunidad sa promotion gaya ng mga lalaki din. So, in requirements for promotion, ang Bucor personnel ay dapat may minimum qualification standard at pumasa sa psychiatric o psychological, drug at physical test at mga nagpakita ng natatanging tapang is they have capacity na ma-promote basta ma-validate ng Department of Justice at CSC. Section 18, Performance Evaluation System. Letter A, there shall be established a performance evaluation system which shall be administered in accordance with the rules, regulations, and standards, and a code of conduct for the personnel of the Bucor to be promulgated by the Bucor through the Department of Justice. Such performance evaluation systems that be administered is such a way as to foster the improvement of the individual efficiency and behavioral discipline, as well as the promotion of the organizational effectiveness and commitment to public service. So, letter A system will be set up to evaluate the performance of the Bucor employees. So, this system will follow a specific rules and standards created by Bucor and approved by the Department of Justice. So, the goal of this system is to help improve individual work efficiency. They have discipline and overall organizational effectiveness and commitment to serving the public. And letter B, the rating system as contemplated herein shall be based on standards prescribed by the Bucor through the DOJ and shall be considered the result of the annual psychiatric or psychological and physical tests conducted on the personnel of the Bucor. So, letter B, the performance ratings will be based on standards set by the Bucor and DOJ. So, these ratings will include results from yearly psychiatric, psychological, and physical tests conducted on the Bucor personnel. So, in Section 19, standardization of the base pay and other benefits of the uniform personnel of the Bucor in order to enhance the general welfare, commitment to service and personnel, and professionalism. the following are considered uniform personnel of the Bucor. So under a custodial rank, they have corrections chef superintendent, corrections senior superintendent, corrections superintendent, corrections chief inspector, and so on. And then we have also reformation rank, the first rank, the corrections technical senior superintendent, corrections technical superintendent, corrections technical chief inspector, and so on. So of their salaries and other benefits will follow the existing laws and regulations about pay and job classification. So overall, this aims to improve their welfare, commitment, and professionalism. So Section 20, Retirement Benefits. Upon compulsory retirement, any custodial officer from the rank of corrections chief superintendent and below shall be entitled to retirement benefits computed on the basis of one grade higher than the position last held, provided that the retirement pay shall be subject to adjustments based on the prevailing scale of base pay of the uniformed personnel in the active service. So, um, Section 20, it outlines the retirement benefits for custodial officers. So, when a custodial officer retires mandatory retirement, they will receive retirement benefits calculated as if they held a position one rank higher than their final rank. However, their retirement pay will be adjusted according to the current pay scale of active duty personnel. Section 21, Funding Source. The funds required for the implementation of this act, including personal benefits, shall be taken from the budget of the Bucor for the current fiscal year and also from the following. Letter A, collections from clearances and certification fees. So, um, these are these are the money collected from fees charged for providing clearances and certification. And then letter B, income from institutional projects subject to memoranda of agreements, contracts, or joint venture agreements. So these are the earnings from projects under agreements, contract, or joint ventures. So other miscellaneous income outside a memoranda of agreements and contracts, such as the penal farm agro production and the inmate handicraft production. So the penal farm agro production, these are the money made from agricultural activities on penal farms. And then while the inmate handicraft industry, these are the money made from products created by the inmates. So thereafter, such amounts as may be necessary to implement this act shall be included in the annual general appropriation acts. Section 22. Section 22, the implementation. The implementation of this act shall be undertaken in staggered phases, but not to exceed 5 years, taking into consideration the financial position of the national government, provided that any partial implementation shall be uniform and proportionate for all ranks. So in this section, the law will be put into action gradually over a period not longer than 5 years. So this phased approach will depend on how much money the national government has. Any part of the law that is implemented must be done evenly and fairly for everyone, regardless of the rank and their position. In Section 23, Implementing Rules and Regulations. So the Department of Justice, in coordination with the Bucor and the CSC, the Department of Finance shall within um, 90 days from the effectivity of this act promulgate the rules and regulations necessary to implement the provisions of this act. So um, in implementing rules and regulation, within 90 days of the law becoming effective, the Department of Justice, along with the Bureau of Corrections and the CSC or the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Budget and Management and the Department of Finance must create details, rules, and guidelines to make sure the law is properly carried out. Section 24 Transitory Provisions. In letter A, the incumbent director and the two incumbent assistant director shall serve under the terms for which they have been appointed without need of new appointments upon the enactment of this act. So, um, the current director and the two assistant director will continue to serve under rules without needing new appointments when this act becomes effective. And then letter B, all incumbent personnel who upon the effectivity of this act shall um, shall act to early or optionally retire from the service will be entitled to the retirement benefits computed as follows. So, um, all current personnel who choose to retire early or optionally when this act takes effect will receive the retirement benefits based on specific calculations. And then the last one, all incumbent personnel upon the effectivity of this act may continue to render services until one reaches the compulsory age of retirement for public officer of 65, and then those who shall be newly hired will have a compulsory age retirement of 56 years pursuant to the prevailing provisions on retirement age of those who are in the uniform services. So, current personnel can continue working until they reach the mandatory retirement age of 65, while the newly hired personnel will have a mandatory retirement age of 56 following the current rules for uniform services. And Section 25, the Annual Report. The Bucor or the Bureau of Correction through the DOJ or the Department of Justice and the DBM shall jointly submit to the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives an annual report on the implementation of this act. So this report shall include information on the application of the budget for the salary and other benefits provided under this act. The DBM, in consultation with the Bucor through the DOJ, shall periodically review and adjust every 5 years the rates of base pay, taking into consideration labor productivity, consumer price index, all price, and other similar economic indicators as may be determined by the National Economic and Development Authority. So, the Bureau of Corrections has to send a yearly report to the leaders of the Senate of the House of Representatives. So, this report is about how they are using the money for salaries and benefits under this law. The Department of Budget and Management, after taking with Bucor or the Bureau of Correction and the Department of Justice, will review and possibly adjust the base pay rates every 5 years. So they will consider factors like labor productivity, the cost of living, like the oil prices, and other economic indicators set by the National Economic and Development Authority. Section 26, Separability Clause. So, if any portion or provision of this act is declared unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity and effectivity of the other provision not affected thereby. So, if any part of this act is found unconstitutional, the rest of the act will still remain in effect. In Section 27, Repealing Clause. All laws, decrees, or orders, rules, and regulations, and other issuances or parts thereof which are inconsistent with the provisions of this act are hereby deemed repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. So, all existing laws, orders, and rules that conflict with this act are considered changed or cancelled. And then the last one is the Section 28, the Effectivity Clause. This act shall take effect 15 days after its complete publication in the official gazette or in at least 2 newspapers of general circulation, whichever comes earlier. So, this act will become effective 15 days after it is fully published in the official gazette or in 2 widely read newspapers, whichever is earlier. So once again, this is Kathleen. I'm Sara. Thank you and God bless.